Tuesday News Show.
Sup, Nation? Hope you are having an awesome Tuesday. My name is Philip DeFranco, and if you don't know, this is where I talk about newsy type stuff and things that matter to me today. And a quick note before we get started, for the next 24 hours, we are releasing my two new favorite shirts on FHP, the Where Rainbows Come From t-shirts, and the Don't Panic, I'm From the Internet t-shirt. Those will be up for 24 hours or until they sell out. I think they sold out after like 1 hour, so I grab it, link down below. But let's jump into the first story of the day. And Nation, today I'm just shocked because CISPA is back, and it's very likely that it will pass through the House this week. The internet and the nation included fought against it before, thought it was dead, but it is a zombie bill. It's back and it's hungry for brains. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's meant to protect us from cybersecurity threats. But the way that it's currently penned has many experts saying, well, this just gives corporations sweeping immunity to share your information to the government. The simplest way to get the point across is fightforthefuture.org says this is what's wrong with it in the fewest words possible. 1, it'll allow the government to spy on you without a warrant. 2, it makes it so that you are not even aware that a search happened on your property, because that's what this really is until after the fact. 3, it makes it so corporations can do illegal things with your data. 4, it makes every privacy policy currently on the web moot, pointless, and it violates the 4th Amendment of illegal search and seizure. And 5, when we say that your information can be shared with the government, it's not hyperbole. Federal agencies from the Fish and Wildlife Service to Amtrak to the NSA could access your data. Personally, I'm against it, but that's because I have the policy of I like my private things to be my private things. In the real world, if the government wants to know what's in the nooks and crannies of my house, they want to go to my gym and search my locker, they want to go to my bank, search my safe deposit box, well, you sure as hell better get a warrant. It's just crazy. So if you are of a like mind, you can do one of two things. 1, sign a petition. That's all well and good. Those numbers matter. Or /2, go to that same link that I'm including in the description of this video and find out who you need to contact locally to be like, no, if you support this, I will not support you. Because the only thing politicians love more than lobbyists' money are your votes. So use what you got now, otherwise those motherfuckers are gonna take it from you and you won't have a second chance. Then in awesome movie news, the final trailer for Star Trek Into Darkness came out, and I was like, does it really need another trailer? Spoiler alert, yes, it's awesome.
The ship's dead, sir. She's gone. No, she's not.
So there is a lot of footage that we've already seen before, but a lot of this does seem to focus on Kirk, his resolve to act against a man as good as Benedict Cumberbatch. It is a hopeless fight, but one that must be fought. You see glimpses of Klingons, which are rumored to have actually a big part in the plot. You got Kirk rocketeering through space, and Benedict Cumberbatch rocking a ship that looks like the Enterprise on steroids. Which, even though the good money does seem to be on Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan, has resulted in the theory that I'll give 30-1 odds that there is a mirror universe and that Benedict Cumberbatch is evil Picard, and he might have Khan-like powers, but really it's probably Khan. But the main point, 1, yes, we understand Alice Eve is in this movie and she looks like that, and 2, the wait is almost over. The movie's coming out May 17th and I cannot wait. Then from there I wanted to say my thoughts are with the Pakistani and Iranian people that were affected by the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that happened. This earthquake is the largest one to happen in Iran in decades. The Iranian government originally said 40 people were dead. A government official apparently told Reuters that they expect hundreds to be dead. But now an update is Iranian state TV are backtracking from that 40 figure, but the BBC is reporting that 5 people have died in Pakistan. So hopefully the quote that they're expecting hundreds dead does not turn out to be true. That'd be terrible. Then briefly, I want to talk about a story that kind of just annoys me. In the world of sale, you've obviously heard the phrase, the customer is always right. The idea behind that obviously being the customer isn't always right, but you treat them like they are right because you want them to return. The thing you should also know is most customers only hear half of what the phrase actually is. Because behind the scenes is, the customer is always right. Haha, just kidding, they're fucking crazy. The reason being is someone who bought the game BioShock Infinite requested a refund because it's not really a spoiler. You get to a part where you get baptized. You have to be baptized. There's no other way into the city. Well, one person by the name of Breen Malmberg gets to this point and says, as baptism of the Holy Spirit is the center of Christianity, of which I am a devout believer, I am basically being forced to make a choice between committing extreme blasphemy by actions and choosing to accept this choice, or forced to quit playing the game before it even really starts. Of course, I cannot hold true to my beliefs and also commit this act, so I'm therefore forced to not play the game. And I'm not mentioning the story to be like, haha, religion's stupid, because I don't believe it is. But I just don't understand the mindset. Because although you didn't get to experience the game, you are saying that it is worse to accept a baptism in a game where you do not even play like a faceless character. It's the story of another person. You're saying that baptism is worse than killing someone with guns as you sent crows to peck them to death, and then once they are dead, crows bury themselves into that body, make a nest, and then kill other people. That, fine. Participating in a story that involves baptism, bad. jamming several metal blades into someone's face, bone fragments spraying everywhere. Okay. Participating in fictional storytelling. No, no, no. And as ridiculous as it is, Valve, much like I would have done, refunded the person. Had you not been whatever it is about the baptism, you would have learned the game was not about mocking Christianity, but showcasing how someone can bastardize and exploit a religion which is meant to be a positive thing. And perhaps you could have grown as a person and realized, oh, I, insert person's name here, have grown as a person because I realize my faith is the good kind. The one that makes me love thy neighbor and not have a stick up my ass all the time. Video games, like many other forms of entertainment, are arts. They're just meant to be experienced. And of course, we have to talk about the bombing at the Boston Marathon. I tacked it on to the end of yesterday's show because I thought it was something that people needed to know about, but this morning, pretty much everyone in America knows about it. Most every news website and blog you walked around this morning, newspapers everywhere. The thing pretty much all of them had in common: 3 dead, at least 140 injured. But then the messages were different. Horrifying. Boston weeps. Bombs scar Boston Marathon. Kentucky put in bold, like a war zone. Terror, horror. And then of course, why? Who and why? The New York Post saying that there was a suspect that was a Saudi national, and then the police were like, who are you talking about? That's not true. As of right now, the police and now the FBI who have taken over have no suspects. The why, there's not a why. This is a senseless act of terror. Even President Obama calling it an act of terrorism. And that's what we need to realize, that these events probably are domestic terrorism. Terrorism at home, and really the only reason I'm interested in who did this was, make that person pay. The who I care about in this situation are the victims and the people who helped the victims. The why is that it shows me that it's not stupid to have hope in humans. That good people far outnumber bad people. And it's terrible that really the only time we ever take sight of people doing good things is when terrible things happen. My heart aches when I see those pictures. My heart is nearly destroyed when I see the 8-year-old that died. The 8-year-old who was murdered, Martin Richard. And you just see the picture of him holding the sign that says, "No more hurting people. Peace." And for a second, I forget the negatives. I forget that the Westboro Baptist Church will try and picket funerals of the victims. And I look at all the volunteers, I look at the servicemen, I see the firefighters, the policemen, everyone helping. I look at the sign of New York loves Boston, that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. All the Bostonians that opened their houses to people that were displaced, needed to get in contact, needed shelter. And finding out that the runners who had just run the 26 miles then ran to the hospital to donate blood, and the American Red Cross saying, thanks to generosity of volunteer blood donors, there is currently enough blood on the shelves to meet demand. And that's what I take away from it, because that's what I have to take away from it, to just not hate everything. That it's usually the days where bad things don't happen that I don't have faith in people, and it hurts that it's something like this that makes me see positives. I think that's where I'll leave that today. And nation, that brings us to the question of the day today. What is something that you are thankful for? If you want, use the comment section as a list maker. What are you thankful for in your life, and you would be sad if you didn't have it anymore? Let myself and the rest of the nation know in the comments down below. Remember to possibly be pelted with $50 worth of stuff from 4humanpeoples.com. Leave a comment down below. Join the conversation. Maybe hit the like button, favorite if you really like it. Also, a big thanks to the sponsor of today's show, Netflix.com/PhillyD. You use that URL, you get a free month instant streaming movie. But nation, as always, my name is Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.